I got there in the end. I could not work out what was going wrong with this at all. I had all my cameras were failing, nothing was connecting, and I was thinking, oh God, I'd set it all up ready to go, and here I am. So I've made it finally. I'm so sorry for the delay. That's quite a late delay for me. In fact, I've got to plug a few more things in while I'm stood here. But no matter what I did, my phone would not connect to the software. And that does cause me a few problems when I'm coming to demonstrate a few things, because I can't actually show you anything. I was thinking, so I'm just turning my heater off. I'm really overheating now. I thought I can't possibly show you anything, so I thought it was worth fiddling around getting it working again, and it is now. I've now got a second camera, so that's good, thank goodness for that. So apologies for the delay this morning, but we are now up and running on Let's Shop Cake Live. Thank goodness for that, because I was panicking, I have to say. When you've done all the work leading up to Let's Shop and then the cameras let you down at the last minute, it's not a lot of fun, I have to say. But fingers crossed, we are now live. I'm hoping we are live. If you want to just say hello, and then I know, brilliant, I can see somebody's on there. That's all I need to know, is we're actually live. I'm getting hot now as well. It's I was just going to have a full meltdown this morning by the looks. Anyway, it's a good start, isn't it? So welcome everyone to Let's Shop Cake Live. Can't work out what the weather's doing at all at the moment. 1 minute I've got my thermals on, next minute I haven't. So you tell me. I've just turned the heater off. Apologies for the late start. As I say, my camera wouldn't connect no matter what I did. Eventually, as per usual with most things, and this is what I always tell all my students, turn everything off and start again. And lo and behold, I did. I turned off all my iPads and my phones, and everything is fired back up again. So I am here finally, thank goodness. Sorry about that, but anyway, I'm here now. Let's hope it's worth the wait, eh? Otherwise it'll be a disaster, but anyway, we should be fine. So where are we? We are on the 10th of February. I'm trying to think where we are now. So we're coming up for Valentine's Day, so hopefully you've now got yourself all sorted for everything you want to do for Valentine's Day. And here we are moving on now towards Easter, Mothering Sunday, and birthdays and all those other bits and pieces that come in between. All of those events will be finished by the end of March this year, so you will find that will all be done by then. So it's all very quick this year, which is good. That's okay, that's fine. But those two main events are being done very quickly, and I have already got loads of things lined up already. We've got our cookie cutters here. We're waiting for one more delivery, so we should be able to start dispatching very quickly. And I know some of you have already seen some of the cookie cutters that I did last week, because I thought, I've done them. I'm just going to put them up on the site and everyone can have a look at my bunny bundle. I know some of you had a good laugh about that, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to put that up for a laugh. And lots of you have bought it. For those of you that have bought it, I'm going to now show you how to use it today. And for those of you that then see how it's being used and want to buy it, they're all here anyway. So there we go. So we've got all our cookie cutters to have a look at this morning, and there are some new ones as well. Now, because there are so many new ideas and different things and all these other bits and pieces that are going on, what I'm going to do is this will be spread out over 2 lives. So we've got this today, and then not next week, the following week, I think it is. Might be next week, I don't know. I'll have to check that and see. I'm a busy woman. I have to check where I am half the time. I will schedule a live somewhere along the line, and I'll do as much as I can today, and then the rest of it will be sorted out nearer the time. I'm just reading about Serena's dilemma with her swan. I made a swan cake and the head fell off. Okay, that's fine. You do a new one, it'll be fine. She's a good cake maker, Serena. You crack on with it, girl. It'll be fine. Get a few dowling rods in there and you'll be all right. So let's talk about the school. Let's get that bit sorted, because then I can have a moment to think. There we go. Right, let's take that down. Let's get everything sorted. There we go. Right, let's talk about the cake school. So this week we've had a brand new cake class. There it is. So we've had this as a new class this week. So everybody that's on my cake school on Gold membership and Sugarcraft have had this as a new class. So this is going to show you how to assemble a 3-tier wedding cake. So from scratch, so from the sponges upwards, we're going to fill them, we're going to ganache them, we're going to cover them with sugar paste, we're going to stack it, going to show you how to dye that lovely green colour, and then I am showing you how to do the monogram in the middle. So I'll give you the template to do that and put it onto the cake, and the application of gold leaf, which I have a nice little technique for as well. Gold leaf, terrifying concept, but actually if you can get it under control, it's a very nice product to use. So this is a new class that came out yesterday. So if you are on the Cake School already and you're in Gold or Sugarcraft membership, then it's there for you already. If you want to buy the class to keep, then of course you can come and get the class and keep it as well. Somebody's already watched it. Perfect. That's what I like to hear. So yeah, the class is available now. It is a really interesting class. It's very good for the basics of a wedding cake. So stacking and covering a wedding cake with obviously the additional application of gold leaf and monogram transfer as well. So there's a few little extra bits in there as well. So it's a really nice one. Now we are getting ready to, I've got my dates here, so we've just done that one. The next class that's due out after this, which will also be for Sugarcraft members and Gold, will be the Royal Ice 2-tier cake, which is coming up on the 24th of February. So this one is coming out shortly. I love this cake. I'm Royal Ice mad, as you all know, and this is going to be coming out as a tutorial. So we will have a fully blown comprehensive Royal Ice course plus 3 additional projects. So I think we're becoming a bit of a base now for Royal Icing. So if Royal Icing is your bag and you fancy having a go at that one, this one will be coming out on the 24th of February under Gold membership and Sugarcraft membership. So Gold membership is for access to everything, including a Facebook group, and that's $12.50 a month. Sugarcraft is $6.95 a month, and that gives you access to just the Sugarcraft stuff. So no cake painting, so no cupcake bouquets either, but it gives you access to all the airbrushing and the chocolate paste and all the other Royal Icing and lovely things that we do. And we add to it all the time. So those are the memberships. You can of course just buy these classes outright. So if you just want to buy it and keep it, you can do that option as well. You don't have to become a member, but likewise, if you do become a member, then you are able to change your membership at any time. So if you've joined and then you want to have a go, and then you know you've had enough and you want to go away for a bit and come back again, you can do that. We have a few people that do that come and go. So if that's your choice, that's what you want to do, that's fine too. But we have a lovely community behind the Gold membership group. They are all together in a Facebook group, a closed Facebook group, and they're all in there sharing their ideas and showing me what they've been up to, and it's a very nice group to be in. So if you fancy being part of a really lovely supportive cake community, then the Gold membership group is for you, and it is a really lovely place to be. We do lots of extra lives. I take them to weddings with me. I do lives from weddings and all sorts of things, so they get to see me running around the venue. Although I didn't do the last one, I couldn't do the the last venue I went to was Chaos, and I thought I can't do a live here because I was literally running, and I mean it, running across some cobbles in Oxford to get back to my husband's car before we got a parking ticket. So yeah, that wasn't going to be on live. I'm sure it would have been very funny, but he wasn't laughing at the time, and I thought I might be pushing my luck doing them live at the same time. So the Gold group do get access to lives at wedding venues, setups, those kinds of things as well, because it's nice to go and have a look, isn't it? You know, you hear all about the amazing things that, you know, you go and you see a picture of a wedding cake, that's amazing, but actually it's quite nice to have a nose around the scenes, isn't it, beforehand? So I do generally, if it's appropriate, because obviously it is somebody's wedding, so we have to be a little bit careful sometimes, perhaps if there's some relatives wandering around or there's a show round going on or it's busy. I don't do the lives, but I do quite a lot of lives from these weddings, so you can see all these different venues and what sort of thing that you can walk into and see. So it's all very interesting. So that's just a bit of extra content, and I think it's quite nice actually. I've got some more extra content for them next week, which they don't know about yet, but they're getting it and they're going to be thrilled with this one. So I'm going to be going live on the Gold membership group next week, you Gold members, so look out for me. Got some ideas for you. Now also cake painting, let's go back to cake painting. So we have this one coming up as well on the 2nd of March, a lovely horse. Do you know, I was asked to paint a horse years ago by somebody, and it just got put on the back burners, and I thought, no, I need to do it now. So there we go, we've got a lovely horse there for a new project. I did actually paint him about 3 or 4 times before I was happy with him. He's a little bit of a tricky paint, but he's probably no more tricky than the elephant, and I thought the elephant was tricky, so I'm sure you will all outdo me anyway and do a better job. The gold membership and the silver membership will be getting this, so they will both get the horse painting class. Remembering of course that you can of course still buy it outright, you don't have to become a member. And if you're thinking, oh my goodness me, that's way too complicated for me, I can't be doing with anything like that, we do have much simpler projects, even as simple as this, where we've painted some snowdrops. I mean, you can't go wrong with that, can you? And these are patchwork cutters. So something really nice and simple. It doesn't always have to be the most complicated thing ever. And we've got lots of other little novelty cake classes and things as well. There's a little cat that we've got on there as well, which is very sweet. And lots of the things that I try to do, I try to make them really transferable, so that you might want to do that project, but you might want to do it in a different way. So let's say you've got a black cat, for example, you can do that in black. Just follow along with all the instructions, change the colours of the cat. So I try really, really hard to make sure that everything I do is very, very transferable, including this little gem. This is from the Royal Ice course. It's a little bear in an envelope. I just thought I'd put that up because it's Valentine's Day coming up, isn't it? For those of you that get involved with that. And I just thought it would be quite nice to have a look at that again. So there are loads and loads of different things that you can do. And what I love about it more than anything else is that people then take these skills away and they use them on other things and create their own things. That's the point. The point is that you come along, you have a go, you learn something, you apply it, and then you go, oh, I think I could do that, and I'll paint it. It's like when you do cakes. I think cakes are like jigsaw puzzles. You know, when you have someone gives you, I'm trying to think of any subject, I don't know. I like to do I think now. You put it on the top of my head. I can't think of anything. That's just typical, isn't it? I don't know. Somebody's 50th birthday, whatever it is. They come along and say it's my 50th birthday, and they like X, Y, Z, A, B, and C. You start thinking, how am I going to do this? Do I need to get out my airbrush? Do I need to make something out of chocolate? Have I got a mould? Can I paint something? And actually, it all then comes together, and you can have a really nice design just from using lots of little skills. So you don't always have to paint the world's biggest horse on a cake, but you might fancy having a go at painting a little patchwork cutter, or maybe even, you know, a smaller horse on a cake. So you don't have to do it as big as me, you know, you can always do it a little bit smaller, which is completely fine. So there are lots of things that you can do. And we've had some new members join recently. They're obviously very keen to get going. We've got some lovely beginner stuff that's come through this year as well. So I'm busy filming at the moment. I said to my gold members this week, I've already filmed half of Christmas. Yes, I am ahead of the game. This never happens. Every January I always say to myself, Tracy, when are you going to learn that August is not the time to be painting Christmas? It's very difficult to paint Christmas in August. It's very depressing because it's boiling hot outside and I'm inside trying to think about snow, and it's very difficult. So I decided this year to be more proactive, and I've done 50% of Christmas so far. I've got 2 more to go, which hopefully I'm going to nail next week. So I'm working on it, but I'm trying to be super organised. But I've done Halloween, so I'm really pleased with myself. Halloween in 2 Christmas is an all-time record for me, so there we go. Will I be decorating a Mother's Day cake soon? Probably, yes, I think so. I'll have a think about that. I've got a few ideas for that, but I am busy filming bits and pieces at the moment, so like Christmas. But yeah, I probably will do something. So yeah, you'll see something appear shortly. I'm sure that you can do. So don't worry. I've always got something in mind. There's always something up my sleeve, I can assure you. I've done a very funky cupcake bouquet this week. You wait till you see this come out. This is completely different from anything I've ever done before, and it's very modern, and it's for teenagers basically, and it is super bling. So I hope that you'll get to see that this week on my other page, which is at Tracey Mann Cakes. You'll see that as well. There isn't a tutorial for it because I think you can pretty much see what I've done, but it is perfect. You'll love it. It's great fun. But I won't give any more away. You'll have to tune in and have a look, won't you? You'll have to keep following me on my social media. So that's my other one. So it's at Tracey Mann Cakes. We also have Instagram, which is at Tracey Mann Cakes as well. Wow, that's amazing, isn't it? And YouTube, which is also at Tracey Mann Cakes. It's funny that. We do also have 2 other dedicated sites for the school. We have at Tracey Mann Cake School and at Tracey Mann Cake School on Instagram as well. So Facebook and YouTube. So Facebook and Instagram for those, and TikTok as well. Don't forget, I've been recording lots of tutorials for you so that you can see what I'm doing with these cookie cutters and various bits and pieces. So you'll be able to go on there and have a look as well. TikTok's quite interesting. I think it, although it does make cake makers look like they work at a huge amounts of speed, and I wish that was the case, but it's not. It doesn't work like that at all. It really doesn't. So one more thing about the cake school before I go is I am going to be rerunning How to Price Your Cakes. Now, I've run How to Price Your Cakes before, and I charged everyone £10 for it, or 15 depending at what point you bought it. And I'm going to be running a new one. Now the new one is going to be a completely separate, brand new start again type course. So if you're already on the How to Price Cakes course, you would have had 3 lives with me, or 4 lives with me, that you paid £10 for. So it's a bit of a bargain, really. This new one you will have to pay for if you want to join into the new one, and that one is showing on the Facebook page at the moment. Now if you are a gold member, please don't book it yet, because you're going to be given a discount code. So the gold members, just hold on please if you want to join that class. Everybody else, if you go across to the Facebook live page on the Tracey Mann Cake School and find How to Price Cakes, there will be a new live coming up shortly. It's actually been a year since I was live doing How to Price Cakes, and a lot has changed, and I think we need to look at it again. We need to work out where we're going with everything. I've had a bit of a shock with my insurance this week, so in terms of increase in price, so we're going to have a look at the whole thing again, and break it all down. We'll still have worksheets and things that you can have, but there will be a new edition of that as well, so stand by for that. There's going to be lots of posts about that over the next few weeks when I get myself organised. Well, I'm waiting for the lady who does all my graphics. I'm just waiting for her to do the images, and then I can start putting that out. But it's her husband's 40th birthday this weekend, so I'm letting her off. She's allowed to have some time off. That's okay. And if I try and do it, it'll be a disaster. So I'm not allowed to touch anything in terms of graphics. I like her to do it for me because I'm rubbish, quite honestly. Right, I wish I was better, but I'm not. Right, okay, so I did mention that there's a load of new cookie cutters that have come out. Cookie cutters, of course, can be used as cut out things that you can put onto cakes. They don't have to always be used as cookies. We tend to show them as cookies because it's easier for me to be able to sort of move them around when they're all finished and stuff, so that's why we tend to do them. Before we enter into that, when I was last on Let's Shop, I said there was going to be a live on Harry Potter, another Harry Potter paint, which I did do. So this was using the Harry Potter cookie cutters, and I was going to show Harry this morning. So Harry has come out of, where are we on the cameras? There we go. Let's bring that down a little bit so we can see Harry better. There he is. So there's Harry, and there's his cookie cutter there. Now Harry is in a set of 3. So it's Harry, Ron, oh, let's move that across a bit. There we go, that's better. Harry, Ron and Hermione are all together. So I've painted this on a live already, which you will find on YouTube. There we go. When you go to the YouTube channel, look for the live videos, okay? If you go and look for the lives and then click on it, you will see a picture of Harry, and that is where the live paint is for him. So he follows the same principles as doing Ron and Hermione, and they are all in a set together. So we've had all the cookie cutters in for Harry Potter. They're all here. I have already done 50% of them. I've done as lives, and I will continue to do those lives. I'm going to put up another post soon on another live. We're just waiting for the weather to improve slightly, so I don't have to come down here too much in the dark, but I will be doing some other cake painting lives as well on Harry Potter. So if you've already got those cookie cutters from me, great. Just keep watching YouTube and follow along, because you'll see them all on there. They're all painted with cocoa butter, which is a cocoa butter painting kit we have on our site. I'm going to be showing you a little bit more with painting shortly when we start looking at the cookie cutters, which we're going to start in just a second. One of them does involve mini eggs, which is bad news for me, so I can't eat them at the moment. And they're my favourites as well. I'm going to put them to one side and pretend. But that's Harry, and in terms of size, there he is, so you can see how big he is. He's 10 centimetres, and I think he makes a really super smart little character to put on the front of a cake if you're doing, excuse me, if you're doing a Harry Potter themed cake. I think he's super cool, actually. And what an easy way to make Harry Potter. It's a lot more simpler than trying to do a little figure and model it and all those bits and pieces. And they're not too bad prices wise either. They are quite good. So there you go. There's Harry. I'm going to put him back over here. There we go. And then I've got all my Harry Potter stuff together. So I've done loads. Right, okay, so let's have a look at what we're going to do this morning. So we are going to start with the bunny bundle, she says, laughing her head off. We are going to start looking at the bunnies this morning, because that's what I started with last. That's what I've done since my last last time I was live, so that's what we've got that's new. Let's go across to Let's Shop. So just to conclude the Cake School, the Cake School has its own dedicated website away from Let's Shop Cake Live. So all Let's Shop Cake Live contains all the products. It's also linked to my main site, which is traceyscakes.co.uk. So you can move around my site, you can buy things from other sections, and it all piles into one basket. Let's Shop Cake Live tends to be a page full of the things that I happen to have shown you this morning. So to try and make it a little bit easier for you, if you go into letsshopcakelive.co.uk, straight through that link, it will show you everything that I am showing you this morning. So hopefully that makes life a little bit easier for you. Right, okay, so we're going to have a little move around. I'm just going to lift my camera up a little bit because it's so low down from looking at Harry Potter. Make it a little bit bigger. So we're going to have a look at the bunny bundle this morning. So the bunny bundle, we've already got two other rabbits. Let me think, we've got 3 rabbits now, haven't we? Yes, so we have a new one last year, which I've got here as well, which we can look at the same time for those of you that weren't following me last year. So I'm just moving a few bits and pieces around here. So just before I went live, along top of everything else, I managed to spill royal icing and all sorts. So I'm just sorting that out before we go back there again. Right, there we go. Okay, so we're going to look at this cookie cutter, this little set here, bunny bundle. There we go. All right, and there's the cookie cutter. There's our little rabbit, and there's his bottom. There we go. Right, so we're going to look at this first this morning. So I've put all of this together. Now, this is not cupcake size. These are bigger than cupcake size. Somebody did ask me the other day. We are experimenting with that at the moment. So we may have some for cupcake size, but currently we don't. This one is 8 centimetres. And across that way is 7 roughly. So that's the sort of size they are. Now this is cupcake size. This is a teeny tiny, and it's only 4 centimetres. So what I've done is I've made it kind of sort of in comparison to the rabbit. So that's why it's been done that way. Right, let me just move this out of the way. So I've actually got a bit of space. And sugar paste, right, there we go. Okay. All right, have a seat. So if you've got any questions about the rabbit, the cookie cutters, any of those things while we're going along, I'll tell you what I did think about this the other day, is that if you made a cake that was literally like a little dome, you could wrap this around the cake and then you could put his bottom on behind it. So if you made a little 1-inch cake and just carved it so that it went like that, you could put that at the front and that at the back, and I think that would look super cool. Actually, I think that would work really well with this cookie cutter, so I might even try that myself and see if I can get that to work. But I think that would be a really good cake to do, and obviously then he can be on a board and have some mini eggs and all sorts of things, can't he? Right, there we go. Okay, let's give this a bit of a knead to get it going. So we've got some sugar paste on the go. So my camera's wobbling around because it's attached to the table. Right, icing sugar. Put some of that down just to make sure things don't stick. I'm looking for my plastic side scraper, which I've just spotted. So that's all good. Right, so we'll do a white bunny. I'm going to roll that out first. These are ever so quick to do, so if you are thinking of doing these are really quick, not very time consuming at all, and you can do lots of them very quickly, and I just think they're a bit of fun. There we go. So I obviously haven't split up the head and the bottom. I have put everything in together with the little carrot as well. That's the only way they're going to be available. They're not going to be split up at all. They will be as it is. Right, okay, so I've got my plastic side scraper. I'm just going to put a bit of icing sugar on that to stop it sticking. Pop that on there, like so. Take hold of, let's start with the rabbit's head, shall we? So pop that on to start with, press it down. Give it a wiggle. Okay, we'll just take that off, just so it's easier. So when I turn it upside down, it's not going everywhere. Turn it upside down, press it down. So find your lines, you'll feel them. There's a few in there. Just press them down until you've got them all. Don't press too hard. Press it back the other way. There you are. And that's what you're going to get. So it's quite a nice little character, isn't he? So let's bring that in. So we've got here our Actually, the one thing I didn't pick up was a paintbrush. Let me just grab one, hold on. Right, there we go. Right, so I've got a bit of royal icing that I've mixed up with an extra bit of water just to make that a bit sticky so that we can hold it in place. Like so. We're going to pop that on. There we go. Like so. And we'll do the other one while we're here. So we'll pop that back on there. Take hold of the other half. Press down. Give it a wiggle. Always give it a wiggle and pull it across to make sure it cuts through cleanly. Turn it over. Press it down where the top of the legs are. That's all you're after. Turn it back. And there you go. So you've got his legs there as well. How easy is that? It's nice and straightforward. And we'll bring that in. Pop that on there. A little bit of glue. And pop that on. See, nice and straightforward. Nothing complicated. We like. Okay, what did I do? That's a very good question. Let me just fire up my cocoa butter so I can talk through that while this is heating up. So we use painting. We use quite a lot of painting things. We're maybe not going to do quite so much painting with this, but we're going to fire it up anyway, so we've got it ready. Okay, let's light this. So this is a little candle in the bottom here of a chrome food warmer that I've bought from Amazon. This is a metal, sorry, my camera's just wiggling there. I bought a metal paint palette, which we've got on our website in our painting kits. And this is cocoa butter in its neat form. So this is cocoa butter without any, so before it's been melted. And that's what we're going to use to paint with. And then we use things like dusting colours. So I'm going to turn that around. We don't use gels. We don't use pastes. We use dusting colours. We've got black and white here together at the moment. I'll add some more colours later on as we go. So in the meantime, while we're waiting for the cocoa butter to melt, we're going to carry on with our little rabbit. Let me push that up there a little bit. So I did use for the eyes, let me just find a paintbrush that's not a painting one. What's that? Yeah, that's one I've used before. That's good. So for the eyes, I did use some of the sprinkles that we have, which are these. There you go. I'm just going to take a tiny little blob of royal icing and I'm just going to pop that blob in there, a little blob in there, like so. Take hold of, I'm going to make sure they match because sometimes they don't match these. You have to be a bit careful. So because the sugar paste is soft, I can press down and embed it into the rabbit, which is better than having them sat on top. So if you do these fresh, then you can actually push them right down into the rabbit's face and then you know they're not going to fall off. And I think that's a much better plan than having it falling about all over the place. So I think that makes sense. Then we're going to take hold of a little bit of pink. Make sure I haven't got black on my hands. Nope. A little bit of pink. Sugar paste, so nothing too drastic here. And I thought I'd give him a little heart nose this time, so I'm going to show you how to do that, which is very easy and straightforward. It's not difficult. So I'm just trying to make my screen look a tiny bit more tidy than it actually is. It's never tidy when I'm involved, that's for sure. Right, so grab a tiny little ball of pink icing. We'll just roll it into a ball, flatten it down and then pinch it at the bottom. Like so, and then I'm just going to take hold of one of these tools, which is a Dresden tool. I'm just going to push that down into the centre there and flatten it off, and then I've got a nice little heart shape without me having sort of to try too hard. There we go. And let's take hold of my brush again and we'll just put that there. Hopefully it's not too big. I didn't actually check it. There we go, that's fine. And we'll put the little heart nose in place there. You can put whatever nose you want. I just fancied doing a heart and then you can adjust it once it's in position, like so. There we go. Now, with the same colour for his feet, what I've done here, I've used this. Now, this is Wilton 12. This is a nozzle and I've been very naughty and I've used it as a cutter. But I tell you what, it's a really good cutter for getting things equal. Because sometimes when you try and roll out lots of kind of little balls, they never come out the same shape, the same size. So I'm going to show you a little trick to make sure that you can do this really easily. So we're just going to roll this out like so. Pop a little bit of icing sugar on there just so it doesn't stick, and I'm going to take hold of my, I'm going to make that a little bit thinner, take hold of my nozzle. Doesn't matter if it squashes, because we're not interested in the shape, we just want the amount of paste out. So, oh, comes out that end sometimes. There you go, look at that, that works like a dream. This is Wilton 12. It's a very good nozzle also for cupcake bouquets. There's a few things you can do with it. Right, that'll do for the minute. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to cut them in half, or some of them in half anyway. So I'm going to take hold of my cutting wheel and I'm just going to cut that in half like so. And that will be the equivalent of their little paws, which means I'm keeping the amount of sugar paste I'm using under control. So I'm going to just take a little bit of water, and we're going to have 1, 2, 3. Put a bit more down, 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to take them, roll the ball like so, put it on in place, and then press it down while it's in situ, because then I can get it the same size. I'm going to do the same again, so roll that a little. So I think this is quite a good tip. What do you think? Do you think it's a good tip? Because I do, because then look at it, they're all the same. Couldn't be easier, could it really? Cut it in half again. And then we'll put a little bit more water on this side. So we'll do these ones first. I've cut too many out, but there you go, I was getting carried away. Another one, cut that in half. Oh, that one's stuck to there. I was thinking I've lost one there. There it is. So roll that like so. Press it down as a ball, and then when you squash it down, sort of change its shape to sort of an oval, and it will kind of do it automatically really, so it's quite nice. You don't actually have to sort of stress too much about that. If you just press it down, you can see it sort of spreads into quite a nice little shape. Round we go again. Put that down. And then you know what I'm going to say, you're just going to use a full one to do the whole. Did I use a full one? No, I used 1.5. Right, let me use 1.5 of these. So 1.5. Go, roll 2 at the same time. Okay, that gives me enough then. And then they're equal. And that's quite important. Okay, because somebody will notice, won't they? Of course they will. There we go. And then I'll pop that down on there, press down, and then that becomes the other pad that's on the back there. So it's half for the little ones and then 1.5 for the big ones, using a Wilton 12 nozzle. There you go, like so. All right, so that's that bit. There you go, see there, it's a quick to make. Tail, very important. So you've kind of got a choice here. You can either use royal icing and you can sort of pipe a nice little fluffy tail, or you can take a little bit of sugar paste. So I'm going to take this little bit of paste here. And just give it a really good knead to start with to make sure it's moving. Now you can do a couple of things here. You can either push it against this up here to work out the size of your tail, which I have done in the past, which gives me roughly that sort of size. Take a bit of royal icing. You will need a bit of royal icing to stick this down, and then pop that in position. And then you can just manipulate that down a little bit, and then take hold of the Dresden tool and just fluff it up a bit, so you can just literally rip it apart a little bit, can't you? But it gives you that right shape if you put it back into there first, because then that's very helpful. Otherwise you've end up with a funny shape to start with. Or you can pipe it, so you could use the Wilton 18 and you can just do some swirls just to get some bit of piping going on his tail. There he is. Oh, there's his bottom. Okay. Right, let's go back to this one. So we've got a tiny bit of extra work to do on this. Now you can either do this with a pen, which is why I sort of said you don't necessarily need the cocoa butter for this bit, but you know, I'm a bit of a cocoa butter painter, so I've always got some on the go. But if you've got a black edible pen, you can do that with this. Because the black edible pens are more on the sort of, they're not completely jet black, they do work sort of quite nicely with this sort of thing. I'm going to use one of my paintbrushes. I'm going to use this one, which is paintbrush number 1. All my paintbrushes are numbered. Because they're numbered, it helps me to teach, because I can make sure you've actually got the right paintbrush in your hand. So when I'm teaching my classes, you'll hear me go, and now we're using paintbrush 2, and now we're using paintbrush 3, and then you can move around accordingly. So let's bring this around here a little bit. Just turn it around, and what we're going to do is we're just going to take some black, but we're going to add some white to it, so it's gone a little bit sort of dark grey colour, a little bit darker. Jet black is quite a strong colour, so we try and avoid that if we can. Just go for a little bit on the dark grey side, so it's not too strong. And then I'm just going to do a little line down there, which again you can do with a pen if you aren't a painter. So if you just want to have a go, get yourself this edible pen. We've got edible pens on our website, which you can then do. And then we're just going to put eyelashes in like so. There we go. And then we'll put we'll give some eyebrows as well. How about that? There we go. Eyebrows there, eyebrows there. And then in order to split up the ears there, I'm just going to paint this little bit here, just so it looks like there's a bit of a gap. Again, if you don't have that, you can colour it in with the pen, or you can use some sugar paste. You could mould that into there, or you could cut it out. It's up to you, but whilst it's all here, it's just easier just to do it like that. So I think that's fairly straightforward, isn't it? Turn you round, bunny. And then if you want to get super creative, which of course I find it very difficult not to get super creative with this stuff, you can start painting little cheeks and all sorts of things on these little cookie cutters. Let's turn that back round like so. There you go, his ears are standing out properly now. Let's come down there a little bit. Because I was painting it upside down. There we go. You can give him a little bow tie. You could put a little bow in his hair, look, couldn't you? Why not? I'm going to go a bit further down the line with this one than I did online. So we've got, now this is tiny decorations, which we're a bit short of at the moment, but we do have the bow mould, which contains all of these bows. So that's quite handy from that point of view. So bows is what I'm using anyway, so that's fine. So I thought, well, I'll just use my tiny decoration mould. Push your sugar paste in, or your modelling paste, until it's gone right into the mould. Take hold of your plastic side scraper or palette knife, not a sharp knife, and then bend it back, and you get these little lovely little tiny bows. They're so sweet and they're so quick to make, and you could put that up there then, couldn't you? Let's go in for that. So I'm getting carried away now. You see, this is what happens when I go on a live. Things start to evolve. Things start happening. Right, okay, there we go. You can have a bow in your up there now. See, that looks very nice. And then we can go one step further, and we can use our dotting tool, which is one of these tools here that we have on our website. They're just like nail art tools. They're very tiny little balls at the bottom there, but I actually need to mix up some white first, so let's do that. Let's grab a brush that preferably doesn't have black on it. Let's see, well, that's got black on it. Let's clean that out. So to clean our brushes out, we just take hold of some cocoa butter, and I just twist it onto a piece of kitchen roll or paper towel until it's clear, which doesn't take that long actually. It's quite quick normally. Grab some of the white, let's put it over there so we don't get it contaminated with any black. And actually we're going to use that to put some highlights on the rabbit as well, so we'll do it all in the same time. And then that's that bit done. I've just got the, did I bring any orange down with me? Yes, I did. I thought I saw some orange yesterday. There we go. Right, so grab our dotting tool. What we'll do is we'll grab the larger end, although it's not that large to be perfectly honest, but it's large enough for what we need, I think. Or is there a bigger one here? Hold on, what have I got there? Nope, that's the same one. What's that one? No, that's also the same one. That's just brilliant, isn't it? Right, so we dip that in there, and then we can make this a bit spotty if we want to. So we could just make a spotty little bow on there, which I think is quite nice, isn't it? Bows are very in at the moment. There is a particular trend going round with lots of bows. So I don't think the bow mould is too bad an investment at the moment, because I think you're going to be using it. We'll also put a little dot on his nose to brighten her up. And then we'll put a little tiny dot on her eyes, and then that changes her appearance completely. There we go. She's very sweet. So I'm going to hold that up so you can see it. And this is it. It's very straightforward. It is not difficult to do at all. It is a lot of fun, and I think it would make actually quite a nice cake. So not only have you got the option to do cookie cutters, but I think you'll be able to do a little cake out of it as well. And I might do a video on that this week. I shall put that on my list of things to do with these, because I think that would work really well, but I need a bit of I need to fiddle around with it a little bit and make sure it works. But that's what they look like. So these are the new rabbit cookie cutters for 2024. On top of that, obviously we have the little carrot. Now the carrot can be used on cupcakes, so I have found that what is that? So I thought that was orange. Looks like red. Oh, I thought I had some orange with me. Oh no, there it is. It's hiding. So you can, if you want to make lots of little carrot cakes to go along with this, it's a bit like the dog bone. Do you know what I mean? With when we did the dogs last year, we had the dog bones, and the dog bones I think work really well when you're doing the dog cookie cutters, because the little cookie cutters are just as important as the big ones. Yeah, you could try it on a cupcake. I'm definitely going to have a look at that this week. I have visions of what this should look like, so maybe I'll try that out this week. It is Valentine's Day next week, so it's a little bit busier than normal for me, but we'll see how we go. If I get some extra time, I'm sure I'll fit it all in. But you just take hold of a little bit of orange paste, press down, give it a wiggle like so, and just press down in the middle bit there where it cuts off into green. Pull that out like so, and just cut it off, and then take hold of that, grab some royal icing, pop that on like that, pop that on top there. We do carrots in another pack, so there's a large carrot which we had with the reindeer this year, and there's another size as well, so you will see other carrots around, but this is a really dinky little one. This is a very small one, so it's different from all the others. I'll just roll out a little bit of green paste. You don't actually need to do it quite like this. You can be a bit more rogue with it, but I'm just trying to show it you properly. Right, let's press that down, get that out. There we go. And then we'll just cut that off there. Get rid of all these little bits of paste I've got floating around. And then a little bit of royal icing. Where are we? Yeah, there we go. Tiny bit of royal icing just to hold it in place. Where's it gone? I've lost it. I put it in the bag. What have I done with it? It's vanished. Let's do that again because I've lost it. But it will turn up in a minute. Oh well, never mind. I think I threw it in the bag when I was clearing up. Oh yeah, here we go. I found it now. That's typical, isn't it? Right. Okay, let's put that bit on up there. I knew it was here somewhere. A bit more icing. It's dried out now in the process of me talking. Put that on. There we go, like so. And then you can use your Dresden tool to decorate it. So if you take hold of this tool and press it down like so, or a scriber, that works just as well. You can fluff that bit of the carrot up there just by going backwards and forwards repeatedly. Just break the edges like that. And then if you take the same tool, you can then work around the edge of the carrot, and you can change that into a more kind of realistic carrot rather than just having it flat. So just by pressing and making a few simple changes, you can actually create a really nice carrot without it being too complicated. And again, if you wanted to make it even more fun, you can use these tiny little sprinkles, very, very tiny little sprinkles, she says, thinking this is another one of my silly mad ideas online. Take a little bit of water, just put 2 little dots there and there. You know those jelly cat things? Well, they seem to be everywhere at the moment, so I think we'll turn this into a jelly cat carrot, shall we? So we'll put a little couple of eyes in there. So these are the others are 4, these are 2mm. These are tiny little eyes, but they do work really well. I think they do anyway. There we go. You've got a little tiny thing in there. And then if you take hold of the back of, have I got that in here? Where's my smiley face tool? Might be a bit too big actually. I think he might have the most biggest smile ever. Yeah, maybe a little smile. Or just use the side of it so he doesn't have too big a smile. There we are, that's fairly subtle, isn't it? He's got a smiley face, hasn't he? There we go. And then the rabbit's got his little carrot with him there as well, his little carrot friend. So there we go. So that is the new bunny bundle. So that's already on the website. You'll see it when you go to Let's Shop Kate Live. It's all there waiting for you already. Let me bring that forward. And again, I think this will work really nicely with a cake, so I might try and have a go at that this week. So that bundle does include the rabbit's bottom and the little carrot itself. It's all together as one bundle, so those 3 cookie cutters there. Don't forget, these are 3D printed cookie cutters, so please do not put them in the dishwasher because they will not survive. Just hand wash only or wipe clean, ready for your next use. But that's going to be the new rabbit bundle for this year. Okay, very sweet. I will be taking a lovely picture of that later. I'm very pleased with that. So let's move that out the way. Let me just take everything out, and I'm going to show you last year's rabbit just as a reminder, or for those of you that have never seen it before, I'm going to just show you our bunny that we had last year as well. So we had this little thing last year. He's very sweet, again very straightforward to do because we've done him in white, so he's not difficult to do, he's fairly quick. So we'll run through that before we then move on and look at some of the other bits and pieces as well. The bunny is really sweet. I'm glad you agree with me because I do think he is lovely. I was trying to do some slightly different ones this year. I always try and think outside the box when I try and do my cookie cutters that you can use on cakes. They're not just for cookies, they are shapes you can cut out and put onto cakes. I keep saying that because my main job is cake decorating, so I wouldn't say I'm a cookie maker particularly, although I seem to have morphed into this role without trying really. Suddenly I've got cookie cutters everywhere, but I do use them on cakes as well, so I'm not just saying they are. Treat boxes, I love that idea. I love the design of treat boxes, and I've got to be honest, if I have more time I would be designing treat boxes because I just think they look amazing. I really do. I absolutely love the look of them. I think they're really interesting. Let's get a hold of a plastic side scraper again. Turn it over because it's got PME on the other side, which is really irritating. And then we'll take hold. That's a bit thick still. Let's roll it out a bit more. Don't want it to get stuck in there around the ears. And then we'll pop that on top, press down, give it a wiggle. So this one's only available in one size, which is the 7cm size. It's not available as a mini. Because the reason being is that I don't think the ears would survive if we did it as a mini. I think it would be a disaster. So that's why it's only available in this one size. We've got to think about some of these things sometimes, which is why the bunny bundle may be a mini. We're just playing with it at the moment to see if we can get it to work, because it's no good me saying, yeah, everything's available in a mini and then it doesn't work. This rabbit has a very cute little face. So again, as before, which I should have done before I took him out of the cutter. There we go, put you on there. Let's bring it down a little bit. There we go. There he is. So this is the rabbit we had last year. So this is a recap for those of you that have not seen it, or for those of you that have got it and you need to get it out. Pink. Let's put a little bit of pink. I'm going to use blush pink just because that's what I picked up. It doesn't really matter, to be honest. His tail, again, actually, why don't we do a, have I put new oil icing in there? Yes. Let's do a little piped bunny tail so then I can show you the difference with that. So let's see what nozzles we have. I say I'm going to pipe a tail and then I actually need to find a nozzle. Got me brilliant ideas today. It's because I haven't been doing lives consistently. What's this? 43. Yes, that's okay. So PME 43. We do have piping nozzles on our website under Royal Icing. If you want to buy those, we've got them. So you can take hold of this. Let's do a little, we'll go round in a circle and just do some little tiny, there we go, like that. It doesn't have to be that complicated, does it? There you go, simple as that. And then we'll just take hold of our brush, which has got some white on it already. We'll just grab hold of a tiny bit of blush pink. Don't want it to be too strong, just so we can paint the inside of that ear there, so that stands out. Turn it round. So now again, for his eyes, you can go back and you can use these little I was trying to think of the right word then, the little Perels. So you don't need to paint the inside of the eyes because they're already white. So we're going to pop one of those in there and press it down. Make sure you press it right down. He's looking like he's staring at the moment, but it will change. It will change once we put the little white dot on. Let's give him a bow. All bunnies need to have a bow, don't they, really? So we'll give him a bow. We'll do the same as the other one. We'll do a nice pink one. We're in pink mode today. I haven't got Kelly here telling me not to. Right, let's just move that. I'm going to just move these out of the way. Otherwise, I'm swamped in cookie cutters, and then I wonder why I can't get anything done. Right, so let's take hold of that. We'll give you a nice big bow. I'll take that out. And that way as well. There we go. Finger in the icing sugar to make sure it's not going to stick. Flip it back. So remember, this is Tiny Decorations mould, but we've got bow mould in stock. I'm not sure we've got any Tiny Decorations. We had a bit of a run on it, probably because I kept going on about it for ages. But this bow is still on the bow mould, so you're okay. You're all covered. Now we could paint in his features, but if we're going to do that, we're going to do it in a paler grey with a smaller paintbrush. So we're going to use a 0 brush, because there's quite a little detail in there, and I'm just mixing up a much paler grey, because what I don't want to do is really highlight this as being sort of dark. So we just go round there, and then the other side like that. See what I mean? You don't really want to be doing sort of too much there. In fact, I might even just do the little lines under his nose as well. Why not? And then we'll back to our dotting tool, grab a little bit of white, and then we'll just put a little tiny speck of white on there to make his eyes look more normal. You can always paint the eyes if you want to, and again, we'll just put some little tiny eyelashes on there. Same on this side. These are all additional things. You don't have to do those things if you don't want to, but you know me, I like to do all sorts of creative things. Once I get going, I start seeing possibilities. So there we go, and then we just do a little spotty bow tie as well. So this was the bunny we had last year. So this is 2023's rabbit. For those of you that may have it already, I'm hoping this will act as a reminder. For those of you that have not seen this before, it is available on Let's Shop Kate Live, so you can pop over there and have a look. But it's very sweet. Look at that. And these rabbits are very, very quick to put together. They do not take very long. And they're nice and easy to make, so really straightforward. They're not particularly complicated cookie cutters, unlike some of the other ones that I've got that I'm going to show you in a second, which do take a little bit longer to put together, but are just as nice. All right, so there's the little bunny. As I said, there is a lot of stuff come out for Easter, and that a lot of it's online. I won't be able to show you everything today. I will come back and show you some of it another day, but you can order all of it now. So if you see it online and think, oh, I like that, then you'll have to come back for another live when I actually get round to sort of sorting that out. All right, so I'm just going to have a little mini clear up, just so it doesn't look like complete carnage here. I mean, it normally does anyway, so I shouldn't worry really. Right, there we go. Okay. Right, so that's the 2 rabbits. Now, next thing we're going to have a look at, pop you over there, is we're going to have a look at something again for something completely different. We're going to look at the watering can. So I've come up with this idea that you can make watering cans, cookies for Mother's Day, Easter Day, any of that kind of stuff. And I think this is a really interesting design, but I want to run through it with you just so you can see it. So this is being sold as a pair. So this is large and cupcake size. And it is a brand new cookie cutter out today. So I'm going to run through what I've done with that. I won't do the small one. I've already done the small one. So I'll show you that one at the end so you can have a little look at it. I've done the big one actually, in fairness, but I'm going to show you now what to do with this one. So first thing I'm going to do is just put a little bit of icing on there. Now, I've already done one version of this, so I'm going to go and carry on doing pink. because we're on a pink theme today, so I'm just going to move that rabbit out the way before I knock him over. So if you go onto Google or Pinterest or any of those things and you put in watering cans, lovely, these watering cans that have got flowers in them, there are loads of them. And there's so many different designs on there. I'm sure you're not going to be short of ideas with this. I think this is going to be one you can use all year round. So anybody who's into gardening, you'll be able to use this kind of cookie cutter for. So I think this is, although I'm sort of suggesting it's Mothering Sunday, I think it's way beyond that. I think it's right up there with anything you want to do for someone who's into gardening. And I've got a bit of a few extra things you can add to it that I've got here as well. So let's get hold of the plastic side scraper and we'll pop that down. We'll pop that over the top like so, press down, give it a wiggle. Okay, cut through, take that out, flip it over, press down the handle, and then there's a line that goes across there, so we need to press that down as well, and then out it will come. There it is, mind the handle as you pull it out. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove this part here, and you're thinking, well, why have you got that in the first place? Because that's where the flowers are going to sit. So without this, we haven't got anywhere to put our flowers. So that's why this piece exists, but we don't want this in pink particularly. So we're going to take that out and we're going to pop that on there like so. Okay, now I'm going to do one with little red. I'm going to try and do it with little red roses. We'll see what happens. That's the plan anyway. I'm going to turn that round. I'll try and give you a simple-ish design and then you can have a go at home, can't you? So I've got some cocoa butter, I've got some red. Now this red will be too strong, so I'm going to add a little bit of white to it, just so it's not too red. So it's more salmony pink colour, I guess. So we'll mix that up like so. So we've got a little bit there, and then I'm going to just do some little circles. So I'm just going to paint some little circles, which won't be circles, and that's fine because I don't want them to be circles particularly, just over my watering can like so. Oops, went across the table then, that kept us going, didn't it? I'm going to bring this down just a little bit so you can see a bit closer. Oh, there we are. Such great camera work on here, you know. All controlled by me, so yeah, there we go. It doesn't matter as long as you can see what I'm doing, does it? I'll put another one over there somewhere. And maybe another one there. Going a bit mad here, but that's fine. Another one there. One there. Maybe a little one there. Oh no, because I'm going to paint across the bottom there. Well, it doesn't matter. That's fine. There we go. So that's the start. Let's turn that around this way. Clean our brush up. Get rid of that red. And then I'm going to go across to the black dark grey section. And I'm just going to take hold of my brush while that red's drying. And I've mixed up a dark grey colour. I'm just going to come all the way along the bottom of the watering can. So I'm just going to outline it basically. So I'm just clipping the edge. I'm not really doing anything particularly special that requires a steady hand. I'm just holding the paintbrush on the edge there and just going around the outside edge. We'll get round the corner, turn it round. Now there's a very high chance you're actually not going to be able to see much of the top of this watering can, but we'll go along it anyway, just in case. So I'm going to come around this side now. So you don't have to outline them if you don't want to. It's entirely up to you, whatever you think looks best. They're your watering cans, you design them however you want. I'm actually not going to do that bit because I know that I'm not going to need that. And I'm just going to then paint the little hole in the handle there. Again, you can cut this piece out if you want to, or you can leave it in. It's entirely up to you, whatever you prefer to do. There we go, let's turn that around. Okay, Right, now whilst that's drying, so we're waiting for the red to dry, which has got to be completely dry. We're going to do some flowers on the, oh excuse me, I'm just trying to reach my original one so I can see what I'm doing. So we're going to do some flowers and leaves. Now I've got some little not cookie cutters, some little PME cutters here. Now we don't have these on the site, but they are very common. I'm sure lots of you have probably got these already. They come in like little sets like this, and I'm just going to roll out, I've got a bit of pink there already, and we've got some white. So we're going to roll out just a little. Actually, I'll tell you what, we'll just probably do white. Let's see. Oh, we've got a bit of pink in there anyway. I think it's just merged its way in. And then we'll take hold of our piping bag. So I'm going to switch my nozzle back to number 2 because I don't want great big huge amounts of icing, so we'll just use our adapter to switch that over and check. Yep, there's the icing. Perfect. Right, okay, so I'm trying to work in a very small space here. I'm just checking you can actually see what I'm doing. So we're going to just put a blob of icing on there, and then we're just going to press down, so straight on there. So I'm going to spread the big ones out a bit. You've got to make sure there's a blob of icing on there and you're not double handling these flowers. So you always cut them out, leave them in the cutter, and then press them down into place. Let's have some little pink ones in there as well, why not? So we'll cut these out here. So we'll take, actually I'll tell you what, I've got another one that's quite sweet. That's a nice little sweet cutter. This is a daisy cutter. Again, I haven't got it on Let's Shop, but it does exist. Right, the trouble is with that one, it doesn't have a plunger, so you have to sort of plunge it yourself. There we go. It's a slightly different makeup to the other ones. So put that in. I'll tell you what, I'll do them all and then I can come back and press them in, can't I? And put that one in there. Just use the back of the paintbrush. Make sure they're stuck down. And then we'll go down a size and we'll use some little, you still on screen, yeah. Some little tiny ones, something a bit, so you can start reducing the size of them, just fill in the gaps or don't pack it in completely. I'm going to stop at that point just for a second because then I've got some green which I'm going to just mould into some little tiny leaves. So I'm not going to cut them out, although having said that I could use my number 12 cutter, couldn't I, my little nozzle that I was using earlier. Maybe I'll do that. Okay, then they'll be equal, won't they? Right, let's get a bit of green going. Is that the green I want? That's okay. Now this is Colour Splash Leaf, which is the green I like the most. And again, you'll find that on Let's Shop. So if you fancy having a go with that colour, and it also gets a lot darker as well. So you can make it all sorts of different colours. So let's put that there. What the colour I want? Could be a bit darker, I think, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I think I prefer it a bit darker. This is the same colour actually, but it's just more of it. So you can really adjust this colour. I think it's the most kind of appropriate colour green I've seen. So I'm going to use my little 12 nozzle again. Don't need very many, a couple will do. And then if you just take hold of them and roll them into a ball, you need a scriber for this. Again, we've got scribers on the website. So roll it into a ball and then into a little cone shape. Take hold of your scriber and just flatten it like so. You get a little tiny leaf. Okay, and then if we take hold of a bit of icing, pop that on the back, and then we can just insert that. Again, if you put it into the gap you want it to go in, and then just use the scriber just to push it in place. Let's do the same again. So again, roll into a ball, into a little cone, take your scriber, press it down so it will then pick up, put your little bit of icing on the back, put another one up there, and then you can go in and adjust it. It's easier than trying to adjust it in your hands. Sometimes your hands feel like the world's biggest set of hands ever when you're trying to do things. It's easier just to do it in position. There we go. We'll do one more. Do things in threes, I think. So again, we'll just roll that into a ball and then into a cone and then press down to a point. It's getting a tiny bit sticky. Let's turn that back round there this way and pop that in there like so, and again just push it in there. All right, and then I'm going to take hold of my piping nozzle, which has got number 2 PME2 in there, and I'm just going to squeeze and just put some little centres in. You could also use the white Perels, so if you've got those that we use in the snow globes, you could use those. Okay, right, so that's it so far. Let's improve the look of the can itself. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take hold of paintbrush 0. Let me find it. What did I do with it? I had it a minute ago, didn't I? There it is. Paintbrush 0. I'm going to clean it up because it had a little bit of grey in it when we did the rabbit's nose. So I'm going to get rid of that. And we're going to turn this around and we're going to use white. And what we're going to do is we're going to mark these roses. So these roses have to be dry before you do this, because if you try and do this when they're not, it's a disaster because it will just pick up the colour. So all you're going to do is just do little lines that kind of go backwards and forwards on each other. So I will do this and then I'll pick it up and show you what I've done. So you're just doing sort of like interconnecting lines that will then take the colour back. So obviously it's quite strong at the moment, and then it will turn them into little tiny roses. I've done one on another watering can, so when I get to the end of this I'm going to show you some other ideas I've done with the watering cans, and then you can go wild and do your own, can't you? Okay, and then we will put some little leaves on there as well, which we'll paint on very quickly. I am doing this at super fast speed. If I had a bit more time, I would actually probably do this a bit better, but anyway, there we go. Okay, like so. And then if you take a little bit of green, let's see what we've got. Spring green? What have we got here? What's that? Moss green, that's better. I prefer that colour. It's not quite as... Spring green is a nice bright colour, but sometimes it's a bit too bright. Got some white on my brush already, so we'll mix that in with the spring green. Sorry, not the spring green, the moss green. Okay, and then we'll just take hold of this and we'll just basically mirror what we've done with the little leaves up there. So we'll just paint some little leaves. I suppose this is kind of very kitschy, Cath Kidston-y type stuff, isn't it, really? That kind of... And then just pop those on there like that, so you can just do... I think you're probably getting the idea now. So it's like those very sort of decorative, highly decorative watering cans that people have plants in. My mum's got one. Hers has got a fox on it. Maybe I need to paint a little mini fox on one. She's got a fox in hers. There we go. So something like that. You can see now just how kind of straightforward that is. I'm going to bring this up a little bit so you can see it. So can you see what I've done with those red roses there? I've gone and done some kind of little tiny lines that have taken back the strength of the colour and turned them into little roses just by doing a few little lines in some circles. It's a very easy technique to do. It's not difficult at all. And I think it makes quite a bit of difference with something like that. So I've done 3 watering cans, so I'm going to show you what they all look like. So that's the pink one. I've also done a blue one. I always end up starting with blue with me. I love blue. And then I've also done the little baby one as well. There we go. And I did a spotty one as well. So there's a selection of 3 there, different ones, different patterns that you can use. Again, I did the same thing on this one. I just did much darker red roses and then just did the little bit of painting in the edge, a little bit of shading actually in there, but you can see exactly what it is that I've done. And I think a nice I've done just white and pink on that one. I didn't get that one too complicated. You can pipe these with a nozzle if you prefer. So if you don't want to make the little leaves like that, then you can just pipe them with something like, I'm just trying to think of the nozzle now. A 352 is probably too big, but PME have got some slightly smaller ones that might work if you're doing the little tiny one. But I think they are really sweet, and they are really lovely little baskets there to have a look at. Watering cans. I'm saying baskets because I've got baskets as well, baskets on the brain. But yeah, that's kind of what we've done with the watering can. So again, this one is a watering can bundle, so it includes the large and the small one. So large one being the usual 7cm size, the smaller one being for cupcakes. So if you wanted to do something themed. Now the other thing you could do as well, which should have crossed my mind this morning, if you want to do other cookie cutters with garden things on there, we've got the garden, let's get this one here, let's get one that's actually not covered in all my black stuff that I've been using. So little garden implements that we've got, which is an FPC mould. There's a flower pot and a trowel and a fork and all sorts of bits and pieces, little gnome, carrot bags. I have painted this before, and if you go on to Let Shop, you're going to see the images of the cupcakes that I've painted. So if you fancy doing different cupcakes, perhaps you've got your watering can, but you fancy doing a little shovel and all these other bits and pieces as well, this mould's very good for that as well. So if you are doing a Mother's Day gardening type theme, see, for me this time of year, my uncle's birthday is coming up and he is a very keen gardener. So I tend to go straight to gardening every March because I know his birthday's coming. And I tend to use all these types of moulds to make him something like that. So maybe he'll get a watering can themed one this year, but there are lots of different things that you can use to kind of enhance it, so it should look really nice like that. I'm reading the comment now. I did a watering can for the narrow boat and did tiny roses like that using acrylic. Happy days, I love it. I'm reading it. Well, this is someone, if you don't want to paint them, that's the other thing of looking at it, and you think all those roses are a bit complicated for me, little spots or keep them plain is just as nice. You don't have to overthink this. If you're thinking, oh no, they're not for me, I don't want to do that, you can use that. You can also use sprinkles, you can use anything like that just to decorate them. They don't have to be complicated. Or you could just write a word on them. You could write mum, or you could write whoever's birthday it is on there. So don't feel that you've got to kind of overcomplicate these. And also note that one I've outlined and that one I haven't, so you kind of see the difference there as well. Right, okay, I'm going to show you one more cookie cutter. I'm going to show you one that I've done but is going to have to be done next week, I think, so I'm going to run out of time otherwise. I'm going to remind you all about this gorgeous little bear who we very late introduced to Easter last year. We did him at the very, very last moment because we were busy doing other things, and suddenly I went, oh, we haven't done the mini bear with the Easter egg. So there he is. That is the mini bear with the Easter egg. So we've done lots of teddies on here. I think most people are aware that we've got teddies holding various different things. We've got a heart-shaped one, and we've got one holding, just trying to think, what have we got? One holding a present, that's what we've got. We've got one holding a cake, and now we've got this one holding the Easter egg, which again was bought out at the very, very last minute last year. So we didn't really give him the airtime that he deserved, but I'm going to go through him next week, or the next live, so you can see him, but he is available now. This is the cupcake version, so he's a very small version of the little bear, but he's very, very lovely to do. You can see he's tiny, but he is quite good fun to make. So I'm going to run through that another time, but I just thought I would point that out, that he is now available on site, because you didn't get any airtime last year, so you're going to get some this year. Right, I'm going to introduce you to one more cookie cutter today. There is another set as well that's come out, which is the camera bundle, the camera and frame. And again, I'm going to run through that next time I'm live, because again, I haven't got time to do absolutely everything today because I'm just going to run out of time. So this is the basket. Now, I originally thought flower basket, and then I said, oh, And now it's Easter. What am I thinking? Easter basket as well. So basket for many occasions, everybody. Large and small. Large, the usual size, cupcake size. So 2 different sizes there. I've already made the smaller and larger one for 2 different options. So I will show you those in just a second, but I'm going to show you quickly how I've put these together. So let's move that out of the way. I think I'm going to have to do a TikTok on this one because it's a little bit more complicated than all the others, but not dire. It's not impossible by any means. So this colour here is called Autumn Leaf. It's a colour that I sell on Let's Shop. It is a very nice teddy and basket colour. So that's why I use it all the time, because I think it's a really nice colour to use. I can always find something to do with Autumn Leaf, no question about it. So again, these are being sold as the basket bundle. So you will find them together. All right. So let's do the big, we're going to do the big one, aren't we? Yes, we are. Right. Okay. I had to think what I was doing then. Let's put a little bit of icing sugar on there so it doesn't stick. And we're going to pop that on. And we're going to place that on there. We're going to cut it like so. Now, I'm going to show you a different handle. You can do the handle that's on here, or you can do it the different way that I'm going to show you. And I think my way is a little bit easier. And that's why I've done it. And you'll see that in just a second. So I'm just going to take that and I'm going to cut that section away, leaving me just the bottom of the basket. So I'm going to put my royal icing on there, and I'm going to put the bottom of the basket into position. There we go. And then hopefully, she says, because she didn't check, I think I must be very consistent with colours because I've got bags and bags full of bits of sugar paste here, and this happens to be perfect. So I'm a little bit of blue. Luckily for me, I've got some. So a little bit of blue. Leave that there for a minute. And we're going to take hold of this, roll that out. Okay, like so. And we're going to cut out again, so pop that on there, pop this on top, like so. Press down, give it a wiggle, cut it out, flip it over, press along the bottom there, flip it back. There we go. And again, I'm just going to now cut that half out, like so, and I'm going to pop that on there, like so. There we go. So far, so good. Pop that there. Now, we're going to make a handle. We're going to roll a handle. So we're going to take hold of some of this autumn leaf colour. Give it a bit of a roll to start with. Make sure it's, or need, I should say. Right. Let's put that there. And we're going to just roll that out. You can use a smoother to do this if you want to get it even. Or if you can manage, you can do it with your fingers. Entirely up to you. Right, let's get that out of my way. I'm probably going off the screen here, but that's all right, doesn't matter, because I'm going to bring it all back together in a minute. So you want it fairly thin. You don't want to make this too thick, otherwise you're going to end up with it being very chunky. So not too thick. And then what we'll do is we'll cut that in half, and then we'll put that in front of that. Just roll that end down a little bit. It's a bit thick. That's also a little bit thick at that end. Put those two together like that and just pinch it. And then just twist it. Okay. Keep going. Okay. Until you've got something that's like a rope shape. There we go. That looks like a rope shape to me. We're going to cut that end off, being careful that you don't undo it in the process. Cut that end off. Bring that down here. Where's my small brush gone? There it is, hiding under there. And then I'm going to just take some royal icing, because this is obviously quite a big chunky bit of sugar paste. We want to make sure it's going to stick. Okay, and we'll take that and twist it a little bit tighter. Put that in there. Twist, 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 twist as you go. There you go, pop that on there like that, and we'll cut that. There we go. All right, so we've got that bit first. Now, we don't have any markings on our basket, but we do need some. So what we're going to do is we're going to take hold of a plastic side scraper, and we're going to mark it. So we're going to press down again, press down again, and then press down again. And then we're going to take hold of our cutting wheel and we're going to mark it. So we're going to mark it like a brick wall. So we're going to mark it in between. Okay, imagine you're doing a brick wall. We're making a basket weave basically, so you have to skip every other one. That's not to say I won't go wrong on the live, so I probably would. Okay. And then we go back and we do it again. So we go next to the brick, each line on the brick wall. And the reason I do it once and then go back and do it twice is because it's way too complicated to do at the same time. Your eyes start to cross. So let's just go back and do it a second time, like so. Okay, and then turn it. And then you can take your wheel and you can just pull it along like so and mark on a little bit of a pattern. Some people have got basket weave rolling pins, and that's fine. I'm just trying to show you a shortcut if you don't have a basket weave rolling pin and you just have some few tools lying around. This is how you can do this without it getting sort of too complicated. There you go. All right, so there's your basket. So now you've got the option, what am I going to do with my basket? Well, of course, we're going to put a bow on it. Let me find my bow mould. There we go. I did a couple of options for this. I did one as a flower and I did one with Easter eggs. So I'm going to show you the flower one, a larger flower one, and then I'll show you what I did with the Easter egg one after this so you can see how I did it. Oh, there's some white there, didn't even spot that. Let's use that. So we'll take our cutter again and our royal icing. Make sure the royal icing is going, there it is. And we'll put the big ones in first. So we'll have a nice basket of white spring flowers, shall we? Something like that. You can do whatever you like, it doesn't matter. It's your basket, you fill it with your favourite colours. And then we'll do some smaller ones. What have I got there? Oh yeah, that's okay. That's okay, we can do that. Get this one to come out, there we go. Am I still on the screen? Yes, I am. Sometimes I'm so busy working away, I don't actually look at the screen and realise where I am, but I've just checked and we're okay. It's a little bit chunky, let's give it a bit more of a roll. It's not quite so chunky. There we go. And we'll put another one in there. And another one. Let's put another one down there. And then we can use an even smaller one, maybe to do a few sort of hanging over the edge, maybe. Something like that. Okay, we'll go back and we'll just push the centres down like so, and then we'll just give those middles a little pipe or use sprinkles. So if you don't want to use piping bags and royal icing, just use some sprinkles just to fill in the little gaps like so. And then we'll grab a little bit of pink sugar paste again because we're on a pink roll today. And we'll take that out and we'll turn that back. A little bit of icing. Pop that in the middle, I think, or you could tie it to the top of the basket. It doesn't really matter, does it? Whatever suits you, really. And then we can always do a few little leaves if we want to. So again, we can use we'll use this colour this time. This is a bit crumbly, this bit. I think this bit of paste has been around a little while. It's being a bit more tricky. But we can roll that out. Use my famous method of using... You're all going to rush out and buy Wilton 12 nozzle today, aren't you? It's on the website, so don't worry. Oh dear. If you've got what was I going to say? If you've got the nozzles that are or the small round cookie cutters, little plungers, you'll be fine. It's just me cutting corners today. And again, the same as what we did before. Pick up a scriber, press down the leaf. Gone for a paler green on this one. There you go. Once it's attached, it's not so bad. There you go. Just put in a few there. Give it a little run round. Oh. Press down. Blob on the back. That one came off in my hand, so I had to take that one with me. Then let's put one more in. Everything in 3s or 5s with flowers, really. Otherwise it looks a bit weird. You ever hear anybody talking about floristry? Most of it's in odd numbers. Okay, right, let's just do some... Where's my dotting tool? There it is. Because I can't resist it, of course I can't. See the other side, it's bigger. There we go. So that's the basket. So that's one version of the basket. Let me just bring in what else I did with it so you can see the differences. So I'm going to bring that right down so you can have a good old look at it there. Let's put that up there. I'm going to hold it up actually so you can see it first. Can you see what I did with the basket as well? I think that's quite important. These are ever so easy to do. They're not difficult at all. You can use any flower cutters. It doesn't matter. So I've done a little mini one. So this is the mini version of that. So that's the baby one. There we go. Actually use the same size bow. I quite like that. And then I did an Easter bonnet, actually Easter bonnet's be an idea, wouldn't it? I did an Easter basket as well, and I did use in there mini eggs, which I did cut in half. Now they were quite tricky to cut in half, mini eggs. You had to kind of saw them a little bit. If you heat your knife up with some hot water, they probably go through a little bit easier. But I did manage to cut the mini eggs in half and then turn them into an Easter basket. The only thing I would say is that the other half was pretty unusable, so I had to eat it, which was a bit of a shame, really. So in the process of me doing this, I probably consumed half a bag of mini eggs for purely experimental reasons. You know, I have to kind of do these things for you, you see. So anyway, so that's the 3 basket ideas anyway. So Easter basket or basket of flowers for Mother's Day. So there we are. Right, I think that's plenty, don't you, for you to be getting on with? Let me come back onto screen for a second. So we have got more things to show you, but we're not going to show you them all today because we have got some more lives to do coming up later on in the next few weeks. You will see that they are already on the website. So you'll see there's the camera bundle that's on there. You'll see the Easter teddy, so you'll be able to see that as well. The basket bundle is a new one, as is the watering can as well, and the bunny one. So there's been 6 new bundles recently, and they are all on Let's Shop Kate Live, along now with all the other Easter stuff. So all the other stuff that you would expect to see with us at Easter. We have this iconic Easter cake, which is also there with the little bunny printouts that we sell tons of every year. That one is already up, and you'll see that. So if you scroll through, hopefully I've got rid of most of Christmas. I'll tell you what, Christmas just goes into everything. It takes me ages to clear out a Let's Shop to get rid of Christmas. It's absolutely everywhere, but hopefully now when you go on there, predominantly you will see Easter, Mother's Day, that kind of stuff on there as well. So a tiny bit of Valentine's Day at the bottom, but I'm afraid at this point you're not going to get it in time for Valentine's Day. So it's on there. Is this basket a cutter? Yes, it is. It is a basket cutter. There's two little basket cutters. Where are they? They're on the Let's Shop. Have a look on Let's Shop and you'll see them on there, because I've only got one of each. They're sort of floating around here somewhere now, but yes, it is. So go across there and have a look at the cookie cutters, and I will produce some TikToks so that you can follow along as well. Right, let's go back to the start of Let's Shop. So we talked about the cake school this morning, and this is a brand new project that we had out yesterday. So if anybody is still thinking that they would love to join the cake school, we'd love to have you. This is a 3-tier wedding cake from scratch, showing you how to build it. So how to put the buttercream in, how to ganache it, how to colour it, how to cover it in sugar paste, how to stack it with dowel so it's not going to fall over, and then on top of that also how to do the gold leaf and the monogram on the front. So there's some nice clear instructions in there. I'm not showing you how to make the deer, by the way. That's down to buying off Etsy, I'm afraid. And the flowers are fresh flowers from that wedding cake, but that is now a new project that's available. So this is the next one after that's coming out on the 24th of February. So this is a 2-tier royal ice cake. So for those of you that have already studied royal icing with me, or for those of you that would like to try it and do royal icing with me, this cake is coming out on the 24th of March. 24th of February, closely followed on the 2nd of March by the horse. So those are our foreseeable future classes at the moment. There is going to be another episode of how to price cakes. That's going to be coming out later on. I will explain that as we go, but there will be a brand new edition of how to price cakes. There will be a discount for the gold members. Everybody else, you will be getting a link to be able to join that as well. I have done how to price cakes in the past. It's been a year since I've done how to price cakes, and there's been a lot of changes now, so I'm going to revisit the class, but it will be a new class. So if you want to join it, you will need to buy a ticket to join it, but that is not available yet, but it will be coming this week, so you'll be seeing posts coming up about that as well. So lots of new cookie cutters to get involved with. We are also doing a few Instagram lives now. We did an Instagram live yesterday talking about Harry Potter cookie cutters, and I did my little Harry, didn't I? Where are you? I did paint little Harry. There he is. He's quite sweet, isn't he? So if you want to watch him back live, go across to my YouTube channel and you'll be able to find everything on there. So if you go and have a look on at Tracey Mann Cakes, go to the live section. So go to videos and then go to lives, and then you will find this edition of Let's Shop Cake Live. You will also find all the other videos that I've done live on painting all these different things that I've done. So go across there and have a look at it and go through the lives and watch them and enjoy them. That's what they're there for, to help you to do these cookies as well. And we're putting pictures up now on the front of all these lives so that you can identify which live has got which cookie cutter on it, because I do appreciate sometimes I've demonstrated it, you've bought it, and then you can't remember how to do it. So you will hopefully be able to reference point that back. I'm trying to make it all join up, if that makes any sense. It's so much to do. I don't think anyone realises quite how much social media there is to do. I mean, we have got a lot of Facebook pages. We've got Tracey's Cakes and school and website and all these other things, and actually trying to join them all up to sort of be one conclusive bundle does take an awful lot of time, when I could be painting, which I would much rather do. As we all know, I'm in painting mode at the moment, so I'm still at Christmas at the minute. My brain is still there, and that's where it needs to stay for another 2 weeks, and then I can move away from it. But so I hope that you've enjoyed the live today. Thank you very much for everybody that does tune in on a Saturday morning, or if you are watching on a later time. And we're just as grateful for anybody that watches at a later time. And we're also, thank you very much for everybody that is placing orders with us at the moment. We will ship these out as fast as we can. We're just waiting for the watering cans to arrive. We've got the bunny bundles, we've got the camera bundles, we've got all of those in at the moment. So if you're doing sort of Barbie type cakes, the frame and the camera are great fun to do, or thinking about holidays and stuff, you can see where my brain goes, can't you, and why I do these things. That is another good one, someone who likes travelling, that kind of thing. But we will go over those in other editions of Let's Shop as well. And don't forget the little Easter bear, he is very cute. And again, we will go over how to put him together on another edition of Let's Shop. I hope you've enjoyed all these ideas. I am going to have a go at trying to put the rabbit together this week in a cake form. Get involved, join the school, buy some bits and pieces from me, but most of all, keep tuning in and supporting us. Don't forget to give us lots of likes and things, and we will be delighted to carry on doing this. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining us, and I will see you all again soon. Remember, when you see a post coming up, make sure you tap going or interested. It's so important, because Facebook are going to remind you. I love that. That's a great idea as far as I'm concerned, because I can't remember anything. So if Facebook says, don't forget Tracey Mann's live today, I go, yes, she is, and I'd forgotten all about that, so I'm going to watch it now or later. So don't forget, it is there to help you. It's not going to keep pushing you and pushing you. If you watch it, you watch it. If you don't, you don't. But boy, does it help. So don't forget to see that as well when you see some posts coming up. I will see you all soon. I can't think of anything else. I probably could carry on, but I won't. I will stop now. Nice to see you all again, and take care. Have a lovely day, whatever it is you're doing. If you've got snow, enjoy, and I will see you all soon. Don't forget, when the live is finished,